central question was, how can I organize a flag football tournament to raise money to improve the boys' locker room? And basically, I'll be going over what my idea was, who my mentors, and why I chose him, why I chose this project, the marketing scheme of it, what needed to be done to make sure this project actually was successful, and the conclusion of my presentation, or my project. My idea was that I wanted to do a 5-on-5 tournament to ensure that I could raise enough money to improve the boys' locker room, because I played football for 2 years, and just with those 2 years, I saw that with how the locker room was, the state of it was not good. That at the time of the proposals, there was an awful smell that everyone knew what it was and where it was coming from, because it did not smell good at all. And when we figured out that what it was the jerseys, and I figured what would be better than to improve what the current problem was at the time, the locker room, and the smell, and what the mental aspect of it actually is for a locker room and athletes. And so, obviously, my mentor I chose was Mr. Lagos. I chose him because of the fact that he is in charge of the storage for the football team and making sure that everything is in order, making sure that everything it obviously isn't smelling bad, which didn't go too well, but and making sure that he has everything. And I chose him because of the fact that, first of all, I feel that I have a strong connection with him. He's been like a father figure to me, and having him, making sure that he pushes me through everything, making sure that I reach the deadlines, making sure that everything is on point, and making sure that everything is accurate and done. He was the perfect person to do so. I chose this project, obviously, as I touched earlier, the state of the locker room. It was very messy, very unorganized, very unhygienic, and there was actually safety hazards too. Because at the time, there were white cubbies near the entrance of the locker room that were on the brink of falling. And so I decided that what better than to get rid of the white cubby and try and fix it up. Try and make sure that it's hygienic, make sure that it's all good. And I chose the football aspect because of the fact that an important thing about an athlete is warming up before a game, obviously, and making sure that they're prepared physically and mentally. And the mental part comes from the locker room. And making sure that the locker room was good, ensured that the athletes could get max performance, and then the teams could prospect from it. And obviously the impact of this project, obviously the publicity of the school itself, because if athletes perform better, then the school can have a better face sports-wise, and making sure that they perform better and they have a better, how do I say this? Better face, basically. Obviously, this was one of the marketing schemes that I did. I made this flyer and I gave it to people. I also told other students about it. I told people that they should come to my football tournament. I just need people and I need donations if possible. And honestly, no one. Obviously, the flyer method didn't really work because of the fact that we aren't really the flyer method. So I took a different route, which was the social media approach. I took the social media approach because of the fact that I wanted obviously not underclassmen, upperclassmen, even adults. Everyone has some form of social media, and it can even be reposted onto their stories and reshared to make sure that everyone is able to see at least some way of seeing that picture to make sure that people come. And I even plugged my own Venmo to make sure that people knew that they could donate. They don't even have to come play. They can just donate or even come to watch. It was something light, but it was something that worked. And what needed to be done was I needed to talk to the higher ups, which was I had to talk to Mr. Radicki, which I sent him an email asking if I could meet and ensure that I could make sure that I could have a field, I could have everything ready for the actual event. And when I talked to Mr. Radicki, he told me to talk to Mr. Engler about the field. And when I talked to Mr. Engler, he assured me that, hey, yeah, you can have the field painted, what really saved me was Patrick Sennett's senior project. He already had the field painted for his senior project, which was the fire department versus the police, and the police versus the students. And so I just really used his painting of the field, and I took it and I used it for mine, which really helped me a lot and saved me a lot of trouble. And also talking to Mr. Finney about what was allowed and what wasn't allowed. Obviously, what I touched on earlier with Mr. Finney said the white cubbies were the main priority of taking out. We had to get rid of those because they were not only a safety hazard, but they were on the brink of falling, and there was no reason to having them, especially since they were rotting and pretty much ugly. And I had to figure out the perfect date. I had to figure out weather. I had to figure out which day which wasn't too hot, wasn't too cold, which day was available to, everyone was available to come to as well. The day that people were on vacation, people weren't busy or didn't want to come. I chose the Wednesday the 19th because of the fact that I was a little bit in the middle of the week because of the fact that it was April break, so we had nothing. No one was doing anything apart from either vacation or spending time with their family. And so obviously that took a little bit off, which I could have figured out a different day, but it was the day that worked the best for me because of the fact that obviously with sports really took away from me. And remodeling. I had to talk to Legos about everything that was needed in the locker room, storage, organization, the hygienic purpose, as I touched earlier. And obviously the conclusion of it was, I raised $200 off the tournament alone. I say that was a pretty good success. And $445 off donations from parents, family members, and random friends of my parents, which surprisingly, a lot of people will donate money if you ask the right people. I got $100 from one of my parents' friends, which I'm very, very grateful for. It really helped with my project. And what was done in the locker room is, we got rid of the white cubbies and instead we put the lockers. That was not part of my actual senior project, but I was part of that because of the fact that with the Outdoor Pursuits and Leadership class, we took those white cubbies out and we built the lockers there. And so I used it as part of it because of the fact that I still did it, but it was obviously with the help of the other classmates. And also, and the plans I'm having the money right now being sent to make sure that a shelf is built so it can help with helmets, jerseys, anything that is needed to be held stored, so then Mr. Legos will have a little bit less trouble organizing everything, and to make sure that everything is organized. I think that things that could have gone well, or that could have gone better, is the amount of money I raised. The amount of money I raised was way past what I thought I was going to raise. I thought I was only going to raise maybe $200 at best, but with the donations, really helped me a lot. That skyrocketed my goal so much, and luckily no one got hurt. That is the one thing that really helped. No one got hurt because of the fact that last year when I did Alex Joseph's senior project, I hurt my entire leg and I was out for the rest of the season. Luckily no one got hurt, which I was really surprised about. And I want to say this hopefully with confidence, people had a good time. People enjoyed it. I'd like to say people enjoyed it because they were smiling, they were having fun. Obviously it got a little chippy and intense because obviously the competitive spirit. But apart from that, I think people had a good time. Obviously my goal was achieved. My goal was way exceeded because of the fact that not only did my project go well, everything went well to the point that no one got hurt. That was the one thing, and my money was perfect. Things that could have gone better, procrastination. You must have heard that 100 times, but procrastination was definitely one problem. I procrastinated everything, and even with my papers, I procrastinated my papers the entire time. Luckily, that with Mr. Legos, like I said, he helped me through that and pushed me to make sure that I had everything done by the due dates. My communication with people, I wish I talked to people more hands-on instead of emails. I wish I talked to Mr. Radicki a little more in person, a little longer, because I went with on the fly and I didn't plan it. My time management definitely could have gone better. If I could have just managed my time, it would have made my project and the turnout so much better. And so honestly, it could have been, it just, a lot of things could have gone better. And my organization, obviously all over the place. I was struggling to make everything happen on time and make sure that everyone could show up. It was, oh. And obviously I'd like to thank Mr. Radicki, I'd like to thank Mr. Angler, and Mr. Finney, Mr. Langos, and obviously everyone who participated and donated in my project. They were a big help and obviously helped me reach senior year. Any questions?